During her trip to South Africa in March, European Union chief Ursula von der Leyen pledged $5 billion in investments, with 93% of the money to fund clean energy projects such as solar and wind. Sounds good, right? Who wouldn't want that kind of investment? However, a closer look reveals colonial needs disguised as environmental concerns. First, while the EU is giving South Africa money to move away from dirty energy sources such as coal, it increased its coal imports from South Africa by 40% between 2021 and 2022. The hypocrisy gets worse. Brussels enacted a carbon levy in 2023 which slaps a tax on goods coming into the EU manufactured using coal. South Africa called the move an attempt to shift the burden of responsibility for climate action onto developing countries. That's not the last of it. Germany, the EU's most consequential member, dismantled a wind farm to make way for the expansion of a coal mine in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia in 2022. The fact that South Africa, the target of the EU's green imperialism, is the most industrialized country on our continent is highly relevant. The push toward green energy has been criticized as a form of sabotage, owing to the unreliability of wind and solar in industrial production. If climate and environmental protection really was the motive, why is Europe itself leaning back on coal? Why is South Africa expected to maintain its industries with wind and solar when the EU can't? Importantly, Africa contributed just 1.4 billion tons of global carbon emissions in 2023 compared with the EU's 2.8 billion tons. Consider also that the EU had 440 million people in 2023 compared with the 1.46 billion in Africa. So, our emissions per capita are far, far less. Doesn't that make Europe a much better candidate for clean energy initiatives? Finally, there is the issue of reparations. Europe, and the West in general, got the industrial head start as a result of using dirty energy, sparking climate change, not to mention the colonial exploitation of resources. The phenomenon is devastating communities in Africa through desertification, extreme weather events, and unpredictable seasons, but without the safety net Europe enjoys from centuries of imperialism. Are investments equal to reparations, or is it an attempt at economic control disguised as aid? Let us know what you make of this whole thing in the comments.